The great Oz has spoken.
Oh!
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
G'day, Apostate of Oz here, and as you could see from that image just before we started, this episode's all about arseholes, and there's plenty of them. In fact, there's a sea of arseholes out there, more than you could poke a stick at, well, literally. Now, defining arseholes, well, let's go back to the time when we were JWs. And you were taught and forced to believe that every person that you knew as a JW in the congregations, that they were great people, they were nice, you'd give your life for them, and everything was good. Reality was, there were arseholes there just by their behaviour, and you had to put up with them. But just because someone or someone's ex-Jehovah's Witnesses doesn't mean they're not arseholes. In fact, there's plenty of arseholes who are ex-JWs, and it seems like a lot of them are on YouTube. Hey, that might include me, but I don't know, define it by your actions. Why I'm making this video is that a very good friend of mine, Lloyd Evans, or you know him as John Cedars, who tirelessly and at his own expense and effort is helping to bring people out of the Jehovah's Witness cult. That's the point of ex-JW activism, is to save people from being enslaved to a cult that will not only enslave them, it'll enslave their children and their children's children and generations to come. What we are trying to do is save people from being enslaved into that cult, because that will be saving the lives of them, their children, and their families from undue influence and unnecessary hardships in the life that they live. Now, there's a lot of pettiness, there's a lot of jealousies within the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. Now, some things are a fair cop, a lot of things aren't. Now, this whole issue of Lloyd having some books made of Crisis of Conscience, not to sell, not for anything apart from having a copy made so he can sit and read it, and family can have a copy to sit and read. And he, as he says here, had contacted the copyright owner, who had no plans or no finances to reprint the Crisis of Conscience, so it was available to do that. Now, just to quickly relate, my encounter with Crisis of Conscience was just after I was disfellowshipped. I was reading on the Jehovah's Witness net. There was talk about this book, Crisis of Conscience, which I hadn't really heard of, and I couldn't get a copy of it. Libraries don't carry it, or they have had it, and they've been stolen. Now, that's not stolen by people wanting to have a copy of their own. It's more likely Jehovah's Witness elders, wives, etc., stealing these copies so the rank and files can't get access to it, because, to put it in the viewpoint of the governing body, Crisis of Conscience by Ray France is a toxic book. As soon as an active or even a fading Jehovah's Witness reads that book, they will no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness, because they'll see that there is just nothing there behind the curtain. They've looked. Ray France was there. He had a crisis of conscience that led him out of that organisation. So the point of Ray's book is to help people wake up that they're in a cult and to get out of it. Now, Ray passed away some years ago, probably before the full internet age was upon us. Now, if he were here sitting beside me, what do you think the point of his message would be? He'd want his message to get out to as many people as possible, to read and to save their life. He wouldn't view it as a business. His book, while he was alive, wasn't a high-priced volume, book to buy and read. He was trying to help other people, and that's the point. So for ones to jump on the bandwagon of criticism and to say, oh, well, Lloyd Evans is, he's horrendous for doing it. Well, that's just a load of shit. Sorry. And that's shit coming from arseholes. So, double whammy. So it's just, where is the motivation? What is the motives behind these haters? Mark Latham, he's sort of showing his true colours. He's referring to the whole ex-Jehovah's Witness activism as a business and referring to Lloyd as being bad for business. Well, what kind of business is it? It's not a business. This is about saving people's lives. Does Mark get paid for his seminars and lectures? Is that the issue? I don't know. I've just been trying to figure out why would he refer to this as business and refer to John as being bad for business. But then you start to see the connections. Mark and Cora basically equals Mike and Kim. Now you probably come across Mike and Kim. Unusual couple. But they all have their own agendas. Mike and Kim are a registered religion. So that's telling you where their ideas lie, where, business for them is a religion. I mean, even Kimmy comes out touting her own book in her latest video, and that's fair. It's her book. She wrote it. She has the right to do it. But at the same time, getting teary and saying, don't buy this book, which John is not selling the book. It was only one copy of a 5 edition print for his own benefit, for his family. One copy he was going to give away free. They got onto the rant. Yet at the same time, they had illegal PDF copies on their own website. Now, I bought a PDF as a sidetracked here. Go right back to the start. I couldn't get a copy of the book, so I contacted Randall Waters on Free Minds. He got me a link through to another site who had the rights to it. I paid, I think, $15 US, and I got a PDF copy of Crisis of Conscience with a locked code, which I was asked to please don't, spread this on the internet, which is fine. I never have. But I read it online. I wished I'd had a book. I prefer to read a hard copy of it, which I have. I just recently, I looked it up, it was November last year. I was able to buy a copy off Amazon, a brand new 4th edition of Crisis of Conscience, and it only costs like $14. So this book is not about raising profits or generating a lot of income for the estate of Ray Franz. It's about getting his message out there in whatever form possible. That should be the bottom line, not this business of making money. That's what religions do. That's what Mike and Kim do. They're a religion. Mark and Cora, I don't know what their motives are, but calling it a business makes me suspicious that for them, they're making a living out of it. But hey, that's just me. That's an accusation. Maybe I should do some research and find out more. But that's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't get onto YouTube and criticize others like Mike and Kim, and Mark's done that behind John's back, which is pretty sneaky, but that's just obviously the character of the man. So we'll wait and see if he posts anything to back up his claims, and we'll see what happens. But to get back to the subject of just haters and hating John Cedars because he's popular or because he is effective, that's just plain stupid. That's what arseholes would do. Arseholes would criticize other people because they're not getting results or they're jealous of the results of others. The results are we're saving people's lives. That's the bottom line. That's the thing that you've got to focus on. That's the most important thing, saving people out of the cult. And if you want to fight and criticize people who are doing an excellent job at saving people, well, you're just proving yourself to be an arsehole. And, who wants to look at arseholes or hear them? I know I certainly don't. So I think that's enough said on the subject. I think we should just, as a community, take a break, take a breath, focus on getting a message across to Jehovah's Witnesses that there is life outside the cult, and we're not mentally diseased. We're not seeking to make disciples of ourselves, which seems like some are doing it. But hey, every religion has arseholes, so what's different with this one? So, to be honest, that's enough about arseholes. I'll finish with a little montage. I'll kit myself up because I know there's going to be flack coming my way from Mike. I'm sure if he threatens to kill John Cedars if he ever turns up in New Mexico, well, I'm sure if this Australian turns up there, I'll probably be on his hit list too. But got some protection, and I really don't give a shit about you, Mikey. You're a dickhead. And even worse than a dickhead, you're an asshole. So I dedicate this video montage to you. Au revoir, Apostate of Oz, signing off.
S-H-O-L-E, everybody, A-S-S-H-O-L-E. I'm an asshole, and I'm proud of it.
Now go away or I shall taunt you a second time.